and welcome to Word of Mouth. For those of you who don't know, Word of Mouth is an adult storytime program presented by the Juliet Hampton Morgan Memorial Library. My name is Miss Lindsay, and I am the young adult librarian here at the Morgan Library. Now today, we're going to put a spin on our adult story time because I'm going to be reading a young adult book. But even though I'm reading young adults, I think a lot of the adults might like this one. I will be reading Black Enough, Stories of Being Young and Black in America. Now this is a collection of short stories by renowned Black authors such as Varian Johnson, Jason Reynolds, and even Nick Stone. And the book was edited by E.B. Zaboy. If you enjoyed today's stories and would like to watch the next program, Word of Mouth is broadcast on the first and third Thursday of each month at 12:10 p.m. Central Time. You can watch it live at the Juliet Hampton Morgan Memorial Library Facebook page at facebook.com/MCCPO Morgan. Or you can watch it later on the YouTube page. Here we go. Here is our first story, Half a Moon by Renee Watson. Day 1, Sunday. Dad left when I was 7 years old. Mom thinks I was too young to remember Dad living with us, that I am holding on to moments I heard about but don't really know for myself. But I am 17 years old now, and I know what I know. Mom is further from 7. So maybe she doesn't understand that at 17 years old, a person can still remember being 7, because it wasn't that long ago. 7 was watching Saturday morning cartoons and practicing counting by 2s, 5, and 10s. I remember. 7 was fishing trips with Dad and Grandpa, and being crowned honorary fisherwoman because I once caught more than they did. 7 was family camping trips and looking up at the night sky with Dad, pointing to the stars that looked like polka dots decorating the sky. Mom mostly stayed in the RV, and one time, the time when a snake crawled in Mom's bag, she made Dad end the trip early and we took him to a hotel. 7 was Dad and Mom arguing more than laughing. 7 was staying at Grandma's on weekends so your parents can have some time together, Grandma would say. At Grandma's house, there was no arguing or slamming doors, only puzzle pieces spread across the dining room table, homemade everything, and Grandma's gospel music filling the house. 7 was Dad leaving Mom, leaving me. And now, 17 is spending my spring break working at Oak Creek Campgrounds as a teen counselor for 6th grade students because I have to work, have to help out at home because Mom can't take care of the bills alone. 17 is knowing what to pack for trips like this because I've done this before at 14, 15, and 16. Allergy pills, bug spray, raincoat, keens for the walking trails, and my silk scarf so I can tie my hair up at night. I braided my hair before I left so that if it rains, my hair won't stand out on top of my head, making me look like I got electrocuted. When I was in middle school, I was a camper at the Brown Girls Hike Summit. That's one of the requirements for becoming a counselor. The actual camp is for Black girls living in the Portland metro area. Mrs. Thompson started the camp because she felt Black teens in Portland needed to learn about and appreciate the nature all around us. Every year, she tells us, our people worked in the fields. We come from farmers and folks who knew how to get what they needed from the earth. We've got to get back to some basics. We've got to reclaim our spaces. This is my last year working for the camp before leaving for college. So I want to make it the best one ever. But as soon as the bus full of 6th grade girls pulls into the parking lot, I start having doubts that any good will come of this week. Out of all of the girls on the bus, there's one I recognize. She is sitting at the front, all by herself. She is a big girl with enough hair to give some away and still have some plenty. As soon as I see her, my heart vibrates, and my mind replays ages 7 and 8 and 9 and 10 and 11 and 12 and all the years without my dad. Because the girl on the bus sitting on a seat by herself is my dad's daughter, Brooke. She was born when I was 7. She is the reason Dad left Mom, left me. I've seen her before, always like this. As I am going about my regular life, she shows up in places I don't expect. Once at Safeway when I was with Mom grocery shopping because there was a sale on milk. She was coming down the aisle with Dad, the two of them with a cart full of things that weren't on sale, no coupon ads in hand. We said hello, and that was it. Another time I saw her at Jefferson's homecoming football game. The whole community was out, and my aunt kept joking about how you can't be black in Portland and not know every other black person somehow, some way. It's like a family reunion, she said. Except Brooke is not my family. She is the girl who broke my family. During the game, I couldn't stop staring at Brooke, thinking how much she looks like Dad, and wondering how it is that I came looking just like Mom. Tall and thin, more straight road and flat terrain than curves and mountains. I could tell we were opposite in personality too. She couldn't keep still all night, full of laughter and words, waving to friends, singing along with the music at halftime. So much energy she had. Such joy spread across her face. Not like today. Today, she is not with her mom or my dad. Today, when she gets off the bus, she is walking alone, and her head is hung low, and she looks completely out of her comfort zone. Maybe she's only joyful when she's with her family. Maybe she wasn't prepared to be on a camping trip with girls from North Portland. She lives in Lake Oswego. I doubt she's ever been around this many black girls at once. I stood back a bit, hide behind Natasha, the only other teen counselor I like in real life, outside of camp. We've worked together every year. Natasha's family is the kind you see in the frames in stores, the kind on greeting cards. So I don't tell her my father's daughter is on that bus. Natasha doesn't know anything about dads leaving their children. Mrs. Thompson, the only person I know who can make a t-shirt and jeans look classy, stands at the bus waiting for the door to open. Usually, as campers get off the bus, we clap and cheer and usher them into the main lodge for the welcome and cabin assignments. But I keep hiding behind Natasha, who turns and asks, "You all right?" as she claps and yells, "Welcome, welcome!" Brooke doesn't notice me. She's occupied with pulling her designer suitcase with one hand and holding her sleeping bag with the other. She looks like she's prepared to go to a fancy resort, not a muddy campground. I think about all the money Dad must spend on her, on name brand clothes and shoes, her hair and manicures. This camp, she's probably one of the few girls here who paid full tuition. Once we are all in the main hall, Mrs. Thompson gives a welcome, reviews the rules, and then tells us what our room assignments will be. Each teen counselor is responsible for 4 campers. She explains, "You all will have a teen counselor, or what I like to call a big sister, to look up to while you're here. If you need anything, please reach out to her." I see Mrs. Thompson pick up her folder. She reads the master roster and begins calling out the cabin assignments. All the groups are named after a color. After she calls the red, yellow, In gray groups, she says, "Raven, come on down," like she's on The Price is Right. I walk to the front and stand next to Mrs. Thompson. Brooke is sitting right in the first row. She finally sees me. At first, there was shock on her face, but then her expression softens and she smiles and waves. I look away. Mrs. Thompson says, "Raven is responsible for the green campers. If you have a green folder, please come forward. That's Mercy, Kat, Hannah, and Robin. You will be in cabin 3 with Natasha and the blue campers." The girls rush over to me, green folders in hand, and smiling those shy first day of camp smiles. I don't look at Brooke when the girls crowd around me, giving me hugs like they already know me. Day 2, Monday. It looks like it snowed last night. The black cottonwood trees are fragrant and sweet smelling, and the wind has blown their fluff across the campgrounds. The snow-like flowers stand out bright against the darkness of the fallen brown branches. I am sitting on the porch, in a rocking chair across from Mercy, Kat, and Hannah, who are sitting on the steps. We are waiting for Robin to come down so we can head over to the dining hall for breakfast. Natasha's group got to the showers first, so the girls have to wait. Natasha and I were smart enough to take our showers last night, because we know how these things go. "I'll see you all over there," Natasha says to me as she leads the blue campers out the door, Brooke dragging behind them like the caboose of a train. I was relieved that she wasn't in my group, but having her this close to me in the same cabin is just as awkward. We still haven't spoken to each other. What is there to say? I watch Brooke as she walks to the dining hall and wonder what she is thinking. Wonder what she knows about me, about my mom. The other blue campers were walking side by side up the pathway, close to Natasha, who was leading the way up the steep hill. I watch Brooke trying to keep up, her plump legs climbing as fast as they can. I don't think Natasha and the other girls realize how far behind she is. The food at Oak Creek is some of the best eating I've ever had. The head cook is from New Orleans, and everything about her meals reminds us from where she is from. The dining hall is a symphony of mouths chewing, mouths talking, mouths laughing, mouths yelling across the room. Mrs. Thompson makes an announcement that it is the last call for the kitchen, and if anyone wants more, they should go up now. The symphony continues. More mouths chewing, mouths talking, mouths laughing, mouths yelling across the room. And then, Mercy's voice cuts through all the noise, like a siren. "You're too fat to be getting seconds." I turn to see who Mercy is yelling at, getting ready to give my lecture about kindness and respect, because I am 17, and that's what I'm supposed to do, be an example. When I turn around, I see Brooke standing there with her tray, head down. "Yeah," one of the blue cabins says, "you think just because you've got long hair and expensive things you're all that? But you're not. You could barely walk up the hill this morning. You need to go on a diet." I don't know what Brooke's hair and belongings have to do with her weight. Sometimes it's easier to be mean to a person than to admit that you wish you were that person. All the girls except Robin laugh. I think maybe I should say something since I am a fake big sister to Mercy and a real big half-sister to Brooke. If Mrs. Thompson was standing here, she'd be disappointed and tell me that she expects more from me. If Mom was standing here, she'd be disappointed and tell me it's not Brooke's fault that Dad left. She'd tell me I can't go on giving Brooke these feelings that really belong to Dad. But neither of them is standing here, so I don't have to do what I know what they want me to do. And besides, before I can even open my mouth, Natasha is already handling it. "It's none of your business what she eats," Natasha says. She puts her arm around Brooke like a big sister would. I find the words I know, I should say, and reprimand Mercy and the girl from the blue group, but something in my eyes tells me they don't believe I am as upset as I'm pretending to be. Once I threatened to tell Mrs. Thompson, they agreed to apologize. Brooke doesn't even acknowledge them when they say sorry. She just keeps her eyes straight ahead, not looking at me either. The green campers and the blue campers walk over to the cabin where the workshops are being held. Robin walks close enough to Mercy and her clique to be one of them, but also close enough to Brooke to say, I see you. I know. I notice Brooke struggling again to get up the hill. She is breathing hard and sweating. I could walk slower, let the others go ahead and stay behind with Brooke. But instead, I walk with my green campers. They are my responsibility. They are the reason I am here. Natasha and I are outside on the back porch, waiting for the botany class to end. The black cottonwood trees are still shedding. It looks like someone made a wish and blew 1,000,000 dandelions into the sky. I am imagining 1,000,000 of my wishes coming true, wondering what it would be like to want nothing. When I hear the botany teacher say, black cottonwoods are also known as healing trees, as they are good for healing all types of pains and inflammations. Some say this tree possesses the balm of Gilead because of the nutrients that hide in the buds and bark. Throughout centuries, people have made salves from the tree to heal all kinds of ailments. When I hear this, I think of Grandma's gospel records and how she is always humming along with Mahalia Jackson. There is a balm in Gilead. There is a balm in Gilead. The botany teacher says, there was a time when there was no hospital to go to, and people knew how to rely on the earth to supply what they need, how to mend themselves. There is a balm in Gilead to make the wounded whole. Natasha says, you listening to me? I say yes, even though I'm not, because she's just talking about her boyfriend again, asking, but not really asking, if she should break up with him. There is a balm in Gilead to save a sin-sick soul. Day 3, Tuesday. For the rest of the day yesterday and all day today, at the campfire and even as I lie in bed, all I can think about is how black cottonwoods bring healing. All I keep hearing is that song Grandma hums over and over, over and over. Sometimes I feel discouraged, and I feel like I can't go on. Oh, but then the Holy Spirit revives my soul again. Revives my soul again. There is a balm in Gilead to save a sin-sick soul. Grandma believes God can heal anything, but I wonder. Day 4, Wednesday. Every year of camp, Day 4 is the day campers start getting homesick. So all of us counselors have planned a late-night talent show to get everyone laughing and having a good time. There's been stand-up comedy, Beyonce lip syncs, and spoken word poems. And now, Mrs. Thompson is getting the Soul Train line started. She sashays down the middle of the makeshift aisle as we clap and rock side to side. Each of us has a turn. All of us, black and brown girls, dancing in a cabin in the middle of the woods. I imagine that underneath this cabin, the roots from trees are trembling from the base, that leaves are swaying and dancing with us. Mrs. Thompson thrives on nights like this. She is twirling and shaking, yelling, "This is my song!" Marvin Gaye's "Gotta Give It Up" is the song that set off our dance party every year. We usually play old school music because Mrs. Thompson says the music we're listening to these days isn't really music. Come on now, I'm older than all of you in here. Don't tell me you can't keep up. Come on now. Mrs. Thompson grabs Brooke and tries to dance with her down the Soul Train line. Come on now, child, Mrs. Thompson says. Brooke doesn't move. Kat whispers to Mercy. She doesn't look like she can dance at all. Mercy laughs and says, living all the way out there in Lake Oswego, she's probably never even seen a Soul Train line. Mrs. Thompson is so into her dancing, she doesn't even notice the tension between the blue and green campers. Natasha? Raven? One of you come help me out. Mrs. Thompson grabs me and we dance together down the aisle doing old school dances that only I know because Dad taught them to me. I get to the end of the line and I am out of breath and sweating and laughing. I look back at Brooke, who is standing in the same place, like a stone. Day 5, Thursday. The sun has said good night, and now we are sitting under an ocean of stars. They shimmer like the glitter I once used on a Father's Day card. It was after Dad left us. I never sent it. If it weren't for the fire, it would be darker than dark out. The rain starts and stops, but we're not going inside without at least one campfire story. Kyle, one of the other teen counselors, taught everyone the best method for roasting marshmallows. We squish the white sponge between graham crackers and squares of chocolate and feast while she whispers tales of the Oak Creek Monster. The spirit of a little girl who died a long time ago haunts these woods, Kyle tells them. Mercy breaks in. How did she die? Kyle rolls her eyes. She hates being interrupted and prefers to pace out the story for dramatic effect. Well, there are many theories. Some say the girl was walking with her friends by the creek and she slipped in by accident and drowned. But others say her friends pushed her in. For months, everyone mourned the little girl and shunned the friends accused of murdering her. But 1 year later, on the anniversary of her death, the little girl was seen walking around the woods. Some people believe the girl faked her death to escape her evil stepmother, in that she lives in the wilderness, surviving off the land. Many visitors have spotted her hiding in the treehouse at the end of Willow Road. There's no treehouse down the road, Mercy says. There is too, Hannah tells her. Other campers agree. I saw it when we dropped off. Right at the bottom of the road, Brooke says. Robin agrees. Me too. Robin scoots closer to me. Brooke scoots closer to her. Kyle looks at all of us teen counselors and asks, should I let them know the rest? This hasn't been rehearsed, so we all give different answers, nodding, shaking our heads, saying yes and no all at once. Kyle continues. Well, be careful, because the Oak Creek Monster gets lonely and likes to take campers to keep her company, so she's not living out here alone. Mercy stuffs the rest of the s'more into her mouth and blurts out, this is stupid. There's no such thing. She stands and motions for Kat to come with her. Let's go back to the cabin. These stories are boring, and you're all a bunch of scaredy cats. I'm not scared, Brooke mumbles. Mercy says, well, you should be. You won't be able to outrun the Oak Creek Monster. If it runs after us, you'll be the first one captured. The girls laugh and laugh. I stand up and Brooke's eyes turn hopeful, like she thinks I'm coming to tell him to stop. I wish our eyes didn't meet, that I didn't see how disappointed she looks as I walk past her into the cabin to get out of the heavy rain. I hear Brooke say, I'm not afraid. Mercy says, prove it. Day 6, Friday. It's 6 o'clock in the morning and Natasha is shaking me awake, whispering, yelling, I can't find Brooke! I can't find Brooke! Mercy dared her to find an Oak Creek Monster. I get out of bed, put on my shoes, grab a flashlight and my phone, and throw my arms into my rain jacket. I run outside, heading to the path that winds down around the back of the campus. I am 17, and my father's daughter is out wandering in the rain. I am 17, and I should have taken responsibility for watching her. I should have stood up for her, made her feel like she belonged so she wouldn't think she had to prove anything by taking a silly dare. The path is slick and muddy because of the rain, and I can only see right in front of me because of this flashlight. It's not as bright as it should be. I shine the light in all the cabins we use for classrooms. The dining hall, the game room. I can't find her. I jog down to the bottom of the hill. I flash the light all around me, thinking maybe I will see her under a tree, waiting for the storm to pass. I shine the light up, moving it around and around at the sky. And then I see it. The treehouse. The treehouse is more like a tree mansion. Not only did Brooke find it, but when I knock and the door opens, she is inside, sitting at a small kitchen table, drinking hot apple cider with a gray-haired woman. The treehouse is a cozy country cottage on the inside and is decorated with photos of smiling children and adults. The woman sees me eyeing them and tells me they are her children and grandchildren. And you are? She asks. I'm her sister, I say. Brooke's eyes meet mine and she sets her mug on the table and stands up. I apologize for the interruption of the woman's night and explain the myth about who she is and tell her all about the dare. She finishes my sentence chuckling. I know, I enjoy playing along, she says. What do you mean? I ask. Well, I'm actually the owner of this land. I manage the grounds, but I know what the rumors are, and it makes for a good story. So sometimes I give a little wave there, a little howl here, scare a few of the campers who come searching. But tonight, I saw something different in your sister's eyes. And when I saw her standing outside, I just had to open the door and let her in. The woman rinses the mugs into the sink and wipes her hands on her apron. She looks at Brooke and says, "You are very brave, facing your fears. I hope you are brave enough to conquer any monsters, literal and figurative, that comes into your life." Brooke smiles. "And what a thoughtful big sister you have," the woman continues, "coming to look for you." Brooke blurts out, "She's my half-sister." I'm not sure if she meant to hurt me or if she's just telling the truth. Maybe both. The old woman says, "There's no such thing as a half-sister." She walks over to the door, opens it. "Just like the moon," she says. "There's no such thing as a half-moon either." Brooke looks at me for confirmation, and I shrug. The woman motions for us to the door. "Look at the sky. Sure, there's a half-moon tonight that we can see, but the full moon is always there," she tells us. "We see the moon because as it revolves around the earth, only the part facing the sun is visible to us." The woman stops talking and takes a long look at us. Most times we only see part of a thing, but there's always more to see, more to know. She winks at me, says, "You understand what I'm saying?" "Yes, ma'am," I answer. "We better get going. If I don't return soon, the others will worry." I take my phone out and see that I have 10 missed calls from Natasha. I text her back. She's safe. She's with me. Just before we walk out the door, Brooke says, "Wait, I need a picture. Mercy says I had to get proof." "Well, of course. It didn't happen if there's no proof," the woman tells us. She runs her fingers through her hair as if to fix it, but it falls in the same exact place. For the first picture, the woman tries her best to look like a monster. She doesn't smile, and her eyes look lifeless. And then she breaks into a laugh. I delete it, and we pose again, taking a selfie with Brooke in the middle. After we take the photo, we say our goodbyes. I walk with Brooke back to our cabin. Our feet break up puddles and swamp the mud with the soles of our shoes. The wind is blowing, and no matter how high I tie my hood, it flies off. Brooke doesn't have a hood, hat, or umbrella, so her hair is a wildfire spreading and spreading. The black cottonwood trees, with their healing balm, releases more of the white fluff, making it feel like we're walking in a snowstorm. Our faces and coats are covered. I am walking fast, so we can hurry out of the rain. But Brooke can't keep up, so I slow down, and I take her hand. "Are we going to get in trouble?" Brooke says. "Mrs. Thompson will never know." "Are we going to tell them that there's no monster?" "They don't have to know that. We can tell them you found the treehouse, that you went in. A gush of wind blows so hard it almost pushes me forward. I'll tell them how brave you are." Day 7, Saturday. I have spent 7 whole days with my sister. Today is the last day of camp. Most times I am happy to see the campers go. Most times I am ready to get back to my regular life. But not this time. Word has spread that Brooke broke the curse. She met the Oak Creek Monster and lived to tell the tale. No one else has done that. It is all everyone is talking about until Mrs. Thompson comes into the cafeteria. Then, all the voices fade to whispers, and everyone keeps pointing and oohing and awing at the girl who looked a monster in the eyes and survived. After breakfast, the blue and green campers head back to our cabin to pack. It is tradition that on the last day is a free day, which usually ends up being me and Natasha doing the girls' hair. After a week of being in and out of the rain, most of us need a touch-up, some a complete do-over. I spend this afternoon braiding and twisting. I have done Robin's and Kat's hair, and then I ask Brooke, "Do you want me to do yours?" She sits in the chair in front of me, and I start parting and flat twisting the front. The girls orbit around her. "So tell us again what happened," Robin says. Brooke retells the story of meeting the Oak Creek Monster. The girls respond with, "Really?" and "But weren't you scared?" and "I can't believe you did that." I fan the flame, telling her, "You should have seen her," and "I am so proud." Mercy sighs, "All this talk about Brooke conquering the Oak Creek Monster, but there's no proof. We said you had to prove it." I take out my phone out of the pocket just as Brooke's voice rises. "You think I had time to get proof while I was escaping a monster? Besides, my sister was there. She saw everything. She's my proof." I put my phone back in my pocket. Keep our secret. Watch everyone looking at me, at Brooke, as we rotate around our son. "You two are sisters?" Mercy asks. Brooke says, "Yeah," as if so matter of fact that no one says anything else about it. Natasha looks at me, and with my eyes, I tell her I'll explain it all later. Standing here with a handful of Brooke's hair in my palm makes me wonder what it would have been like to grow up with a little sister. Natasha has 2 younger brothers who she helped teach how to read and tie shoes and throw punches on the playground if someone was messing with them. I think about how even though I have mom and plenty of cousins and friends, I don't know what it's like to have a sibling. Maybe it would be like this: me doing her hair and chaperoning sleepovers, me making sure she knows which way to walk, how to get where she's trying to go, me knowing that I would do anything to make sure she is safe. Just before the campers board the bus to leave, Brooke turns to me and whispers, "Don't forget to send me the picture," with a smile stretched across her face. She takes my phone and puts her number in it. When she gets on the bus, she sits with Robin, and as they leave, they wave big, elaborate goodbyes. I wave back until I can't see them anymore. I take out my phone to text Brooke the picture, but when I look at the phone, I realize it is blurry and Brooke is not even looking at the camera, and half of the woman's face is cut out of the frame, so you can't really tell who's standing next to who. I text the photo to Brooke anyway because I promised I would. It's not the proof we thought we'd have, but we'll always have this memory. We'll always be able to tell the story. I head back to my cabin. The wind has settled, and the branches of the black cottonwood trees are still. There are no snow seeds blowing furiously in the sky, but remnants of last night's storm cover the damp ground. The sweet fragrance from the fallen fluff fills the air. I breathe it in and sing Grandma's song. That was Half a Moon by Renee Watson. This concludes today's Word of Mouth. I hope you enjoyed listening as I enjoyed reading, and we hope to see you again soon. Thank you, and have a good day. Bye-bye.